Hey fellow netizens, Plus here. 2024 couldn't have been more vibrant, and we have only just reached half of it. The gang leader of the Chocolate Pasta Syndicate was finally sentenced to 100 years in prison. As a result, the convict jumped at the judge. God, I wish Gaul is a real nation. YouTubers were quitting all over the place. Is short form content to blame, or simply the endgame of the brutal, unnatural selection of the YouTube algorithm? But before people could find the answer, the cyberspace got flooded by holes. Not any holes, it is Deco 27's rabbit hole. Sony declared war on the Helldivers 2 community, which they lost, miserably. Connie Archive peaked once again, but this time with their anime adaptation and the lore-accurate reveal of the sensei. Everyone just unanimously went, he's just like me for real for real. This year, some of us have reached the edge of the world, some were overwhelmed by the impact that was brought by waves that were withering, and others simply enjoyed the backshots of thespian legs. But what happened in Arknights Global in 2024? We are starting off with Hortus de Escapismo, the second Laterano related event. We learned so much more about Sanctas and Sarkas. The Sanctas, for example, are a totally peaceful racist group, but no matter how racist they are or how different they are to the Sarkas, when they fall from grace, they still end up all the same. Truly reminds us of some good Arknight stories, but what else were we reminded of? I wish my internet connection is as fast as the law in Laterano. There is simply no point in trying to run, not from my fully loaded gun. Executor, the ex-Hoederer, aka FedEx. He's not just the first 6-star Reaper guard, but also the first 6-star robot operator. Whether it is his gameplay style, his voice lines, or his attitude in the story. He is great, I mean, he's just like me, extremely autistic in every aspect. Dude literally beats racism with autism, except for his cousin. We will get to that later.
One of the first things that happened this year was Arknights Enfield, and this in early January. It wasn't a full game release, but an alpha tech test, showing us what Hypergriff has been cooking in the kitchen. And as one of the lucky few that got access to this test, I can say from my personal experience, it was incredibly fun. So much so that I played it over 30 hours in just 1 week. Not only is Arknights Enfield looking very visually appealing, but it managed to be an open world RPG gacha game that does actually feel very unique. It is not just that the base finally came out of the beta, and now needs at least a major in science and engineering to understand what the fuck is even going on, but also the atmosphere and the world building feels so much more realistic and livelier than any other open world gacha that I've played so far. The characters are well drawn and match the dark atmosphere the game is trying to create. While I absolutely love the old animations, some gameplay mechanics do need some rework. I mean, of course, in the end it was just an alpha tech test, but more variety during skill cooldowns than just pressing one button is something I would love to see. If it comes to the skills and ults, I must admit that it's really well thought out. Being able to lift and knock down enemies is unique, and it adds a lot of strategy to it, especially when trying to make use of the orbs that drop as well. Mastering the skills is important, but movement is just as important. Some enemies' attacks have an insane range compared to how quickly they activate. Without proper positioning and knowledge, you just get shit on. And since I love difficult content, I had a blast playing it. Obviously, since the alpha tech test, there were here and there some things that were a bit buggy and rough around the edges, but Enfield has really a lot of potential, and not just as a gacha game, but as a game in general. Beside the big chance that many people might love Enfield, it could potentially make even more people interested in the Arknights franchise. And that I'm really excited about.
Yay!
It is always at the start of the year. Arknights' 4th anniversary was phenomenally celebrated in Japan, even Lowlight went there, and KFC was also on the menu. We shared our most goofy art pieces across the entire community, and Singapore got their very first Arknights themed coffee. They served a variety of drinks and dishes based on some of the most beloved characters from the game. As always, we get the so long awaited summer event, when we were still breaking the ice from last year. I know it is not fair. Still, I don't want to wake up from this daydream. Or was all of this just a giant schizo event? In any way, So Long Adele greeted us with a sheepnado. We had an abundance of sheep fan arts, sheep friends, sheep enemies, sheep god. Holy sheep, we even had a fucking web game about sheep. And as we were celebrating with the steaming coke, Hypergriff released one of the most goated medic operators. As you can tell, there were sheeps in all shapes and sizes, pentagon, hexagon, octagon, and her parents gone. Before we played this event, we never asked what if she stopped seeing the parts of us that lived within her, or what if she stopped hearing the heart that is only beating for us. And after finishing all the depresso and misadventure, I can say with absolute resolve that I love her mom. Rorii Popper has once again exceeded our expectations with his high quality shitpost, absolutely exploding in views and subs within a single week. The lobby theme was not just another most played song on my playlist, whether you were playing the song at daybreak or nightfall, it will always stay as your misty memory. This was such a peak anniversary coupled with a peak event, fun gameplay, great rewards, goated operator, awesome sentiment in the whole community, and Genshin could never. Alright, let's see what else happened around this time. Oh, a Genshin creator drama. Tectone and Atsu speedrunning to become the most hated creator? Wait, there's more. 3 Wishes incident? Backstabbing and psychological manipulation? Holy Sancta, they played House of Cards. Man, maybe I should cover actual interesting stuff to get more views. Anyway, let's talk about Myrtle's apple. It is actually Myrtle's most noteworthy aspect. It may seem like an ordinary apple at first glance, but in actuality it is her arts device with highly complex structures on the inside. The most fascinating thing is that this device specifically is the reason for Myrtle's outstanding performance on the battlefield. So now you understand how Myrtle is able to kill the likes of Mandragora or Patriot. Myrtle's chocolate apple went viral during Valentine's Day, and at that time we really missed the game mode from last year. That's right, it is none other than your favorite boss rush mode, Trials for Navigator 3. We have truly come far, huh? It turns out young Sui team is just Link on steroids.
The Black Forest Wills a Dream. A story about demon gods, rabid KGB interns, and who gives a damn. Listen, I'm gonna leave it to the next person to talk about the lore to IS4. Why don't we talk about something more our style, you know? What about a certain purple-haired sarcast short stack? Typhon. Wait, who's this? Hey! Wrong game. Can you change? Thank you. After reading the story collection and catching up on her operator files and voice lines, we get a couple of mildly interesting facts about her, like how she wields a 2-meter-long giant crossbow that her parents left behind, or that she suffers from a curse, a rare brain trauma that even the most professional medics at Rhodes Island can't figure out. But that's about it. Nothing really stands out, you know?
How about this? You guys remember that little bit of drama that she had when she first came out with her art? People were, how do you call it? Disappointed that an operator named Typhon would look like this.
Oh my god!
Now, the average player doesn't care. You might brush it off as a whiny response, and that's fair. I like her design for various reasons, but I admit that there's a degree of mutual understanding with the complaints. In Greek mythology, Typhon was a 100-dragon, snake-headed monster that was immensely powerful. He was the father of a number of infamous monsters like Cerberus. The typical interpretation of what this being capable of spawning multi-headed monsters looked like was snaky feet and hair, legions of arms, innumerable, and all of its heads were spitting out showers of poison and screaming a babble of sounds all the time. It's hard to see that such a abhorrent, vile atrocity backed with hype from the IS teaser would be this lovely lady. And it's understandable that the community would be negative at times. Typhon has to be the most confusing character for me design-wise. I expected her to be a badass and mature-looking character, only for her to look like a uwu girl with a bow she has no idea how to use in her E1. Let's not even talk about how she suffers not only of same-face syndrome with other LM7 characters, but I'd even say she looks a little too similar to Kaobe with their outfits. They chose the wrong artist for this character, TBH. Shame.
Ooh. Why don't we ask the guys over at LM7 Fan Club to see what they think? Thanks, guys. That was really heartwarming. Now a plus minus for IS4.
While the majority of the sea region was still experiencing the worst kind of heatwave, the global server got to experience the absolute zero of the north. This is Integrated Strategies 4. Expeditioners I can't spell it. It's finally time to face the demons of the north. To summarize those enemies, I'd simply describe them as fast, faster, and I'm fast as fuck, boy. IS4 is very different compared to everything we have experienced before. We get to move up and down a lot more, say goodbye to dice and say hello to faux dotals. These are different items that can grant unique rewards on certain stages. Say goodbye to light and say hello to collapso level. The higher your collapso level, the more black fart appear randomly on the map. And let me tell you, you do not want more black fart to appear on the map, because he could be hiding around the bush. Even though we have a ton of new features, some things will never change. Kennard is, as always, the merchant we interact with, and by interact I'm not talking about purchasing things, I'm talking about robbing him, just like any upstanding doctor would do. We also get to meet another Sarkaz lady, and as always, it is moments like these when we lose our moral compasses. Nonetheless, this IS also introduced a brand new supporter branch, Ritualist. What do they do? Do they do things? Let's find out. Ritualists can apply necrosis to the enemies they attack. If the funny circle is full, the enemy will receive continuous elemental damage, which is funny because it used to deal mental damage on me. Let them have a taste of their own medicine. I'm not gonna lie, she's pretty mid to say the least, but damn is she woodable. They say Cyclops Sarkaz has the ability to see the future. But I don't think she can foresee what I'm going to do to her after this video. Moving on, we have DOS, Design of Strife, also known as Design of Stats Check.
Welcome to my video, this Eckogen, Design of Strife. Boy, do I have some words for this event. Look at these operators. This was not a showcase, nor a flex. This is what I had to bring to clear S3. Even then, I struggled. I molded, I had to go back and module 3 my operators, which is crazy because I hardly ever module my operators. This event popped my module cherry, and for that, it can eat my ass. Anyway, I understand why this event is so disliked, why so many doctors hit 0 sanity. As you progress through the stages, enemies and bosses become more and more stat bloated. It felt like I was playing Destiny, firing endless rounds to chip away at bullet sponge bosses. Merely increasing and multiplying enemy stats will certainly create a challenge, sure, but not a fun or unique challenge. It means you need to DPS harder, which loses the fun factor. Why not alter or add additional boss abilities, introduce new enemy variants, or hell, even just toss in more enemies? Just anything along the lines of this. These kinds of changes promote an evolution in tactics to beat the stage. It makes us use our brain cells instead of using our primal instincts to unga bunga. Me DPS, no work. Me DPS harder. Still not working? Then look up a guide, preferably mine. Hey, at least they had the common sense not to tie S3 with any medals or missions, because I can see the outrage had they done so. Now, I understand, yes, S3 is optional, you don't have to clear it, but it's there, right in our face, smirking at us, taunting us. Completionists, you feel me, right? You gotta get it done. Well, hopefully, we don't see any more events like Design for Shit. Innovation over stat bloating. That's my 2 cents. Peace out.
Hello everyone, this is your omnipotent streamer, You Official. Today is the first day of April and also the last day of Design of Strife. Eyes on me. You might miss out on my stream highlights. Let's get started.
3 hours later.
This sucks. How come the low tier enemies are tougher than the actual boss? How did I leak this guy? This is so frustrating. Just search turret? Hey, if you want to give me actual advice, at least do it with a super chat. Thanks. Aw, come on.
Meanwhile,
Yu-chan, I believe in you. I always have. With this, I will finally reach her heart.
What are you doing?
That was Whirlpool that is parasocial relationship. Let's move on to the Whirlpool that is passion, aka chapter 13. We get to face Sarkaz enemies, a lot more Sarkaz enemies, but thanks to W's new makeshift bombs, we were able to play TF2 payload mode in Arknights. If there's one thing I learned from this chapter, it would be the fact that you really don't need armies to take down the monster underneath the clown mask. We got our first 6-star Crusher guard, Hoederer. Some people are sad, others are mad, and I am overjoyed, not for myself, but for his family, because they are finally reunited. I'm aware that people were very opinionated about Crushers, especially when Hoederer was released. You can literally see the duality of men just clashing in the public, but for me, I don't really care. It's all talk but never answers. You spread your hate like cancer, so take your pick, either path is reckless. Did I forget to mention the limited time UI reward? I hope you didn't miss it, because this was your one chance. On the cosmetic spectrum of this update, we finally got a skin for our angry bird. Get your character sheet and dice ready, because we are going to roleplay our way through and defeat the fiendish Dark Lord that is Dorothy, the hero of the Witch Feast. She has turned Saria into one of her chess pieces.
Fiendish Dark Lord! Fiendish Dark Lord! Fiendish Dark Lord! The beautiful queen and goddess of the dice realm is doing absolutely nothing wrong. This evil dragon is terrorizing the kingdom, and only through her infinite grace and wisdom may a group of heroes rise up to defeat it. If it wasn't for her, you'd all be speaking dragon right now. So praise Zalux, praise Roingus, and most importantly, praise Dorothy.
Yo, Takdes, are you interested in the upcoming Bingo Lockout tournament? This is a 2 vs 2 where we get to order players around. I haven't read the details yet, but it sounds pretty fun. Plus, it is a content creator oriented tournament, which means we will get to know a bunch of other creators too. So, what do you say? What? You refused so quickly? Oh, come on, Paul. Alright. You leave me no other choice. I have your favorite plushie. And that's not all. I also got your favorite sandwich. I'm one step closer to winning it all. The more trusted people I invite, the more passive influence I gain over this tournament, and at the end, I won't even have to lift a finger to the next match will be Plus Minus and Rampant versus Noelak and ArkNP. Oh, it's someone I've never spoken to yet. Huh. Nah, I'd win. It is finally here, the long-awaited tournament arc. Once again hosted by Longman Dragons and sponsored by Arknights EN. This time, however, the game is played a little bit differently. Yes, we are still playing on a bingo board. Yes, we are still aiming to get tiles by finishing specific tasks written on each bingo tile. But here's the runner. It is a 2 versus 2. Each team is made up by an expeditioner, aka the player, and a navigator. Because in this contest, each team is limited to a one-way communication. The player fulfills the role to play the game, but has no access to the bingo board, nor can they talk to anybody. The navigator, however, can see the bingo board, and they can also speak to the player and give them indirect orders on what to do and what not to do. Navigators are not allowed to spill the requirements to obtain a tile directly. So you're telling me I get to backseat pro players? Sign me up. First, there's the qualifier phase, in which anyone with a global account can participate. The participants have a 3x3 bingo board that contains 9 different objectives. As always, the goal is to complete an IS4 run whilst obtaining a bingo under certain rules at any %. Submit the recording of the rollback screen and you are in the competition. The qualifier phase was absolutely wild. Starting off, ArkNP shotgunned multiple categories as first place right off the bat, but he didn't stop there. He kept uploading more refined runs in all sorts of categories, totally flooding the leaderboard. What other participants called insanity was simply practice in his point of view. Eventually, Longman Dragons had to implement a filter that only showed ArkNP's fastest submission. All of that sparkled the drive of competition for a lot of doctors to join the qualifier phase. On row B we had Shorty and Bait, who were both fiercely competing at who got to ping the other person before the qualifier phase ended. Both were fighting tooth and nail for the first spot. Let me sleep, please. Fuck you, I haven't been sleeping either. I was about to boot up Tears of the Kingdom. Peak rivalry. The whole experience was pretty unwell to the power of 3. Hazel, the champion of the first Bingo Lockout tournament, also showed up. He had solid runs for the qualifier, but dude somehow managed to crash the website with his submissions multiple times. They had to manually remove his run to get the website back online. In the meantime, Ao managed to submit the fastest IS4 speedrun ever. He finished in 18 minutes and 45 seconds with just 4 operators. Dude, that's absolutely insane. Finally, the qualifier phase was over and the real playoffs were at the doorstep. Before the real matches began, Vian, one of the contenders, had a vision. It is said that in Sami, any vision you have might one day become reality. And without further ado, let's get into the real nitty-gritty of the tournament, shall we?
Defeat an elite enemy. We're using an operator that's camouflage or invisible. Pretty easy way to do that. I should build my Enos actually. Hold on. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Look.
The Dominion is gonna kind of screw it up over there.
I really get the skill. They pulled. No.
And then kill the boss. F the boss. Demon's Blade. Lamau, who are you even?
He's going for the civilian boats. Oh, wait. Oh no. Oh no, they lived.
We're gonna have to see if Kevin's team can fulfill using Myrtle to defeat the floor 3 boss, because that's where they are now.
I think this boss is the most ideal boss to do so. He died! Free Eyjalter! Free Eyjalter!
Oh my goodness!
Do it!
Oh, and they can convert it into all.
For the content! Yes! Wait! Go on! Gabriel! Come on, Gabriel! You have one job! Gabriel! Go! Yes!
You should get...
Yes, let's go!
So we can see that both of them picked a Eyjalter, and Eyjalter is obviously gonna be super good, because you can see...
Oh, well, now Tobo just got one.
Come on, bestie! Come on, bestie!
Looks like Ebby and Yotes have defeated the boss. They do need to clear the stage, I believe.
They'd be very hard-pressed to fail. I don't think they can, actually, numerically.
Vote for column 4.
Little dirty. But in the event that they start to lose, it may just be possible to pause the game and hold.
Oh no, they've got... Oh, it's gonna be overtime.
Wait, hold on! It's time! It's time!
Oh god.
We're moving into overtime! Abby has the advantage on stages or battles cleared, which means that it's overtime. If they win this quickly, they convert a single note at least 2 times, instant win.
1.
The besties reset, but I think it may be too late.
Do it from the start of the stage. Do it from the start of the stage. I believe in you. Has to be, let them come through.
1 more.
Damn it.
She's hovering. She is in the sky. She is falling. 1 more. 1 more. 1 more. That's column 2, row 4. It's over. Let's go. Let's go. Let's fucking go, dude. Okay.
So close. So close. We were
sorry,
just
Lucky.
doing that. We were doing that.
I'm sorry, Lucky. I saw what we could do and I had to do it.
Good game.
Good fucking game,
Good
dude.
game.
Holy. To the Firewatch fans, congratulations to them for winning the IS4 Bingo Lockout. Let's fucking go!
Let's fucking go!
Definitely in the last couple minutes of that second game, it definitely started looking dark, but we were able to really clutch it out with some lucky boss key passages and some really clutch plays from in overtime. Definitely speechless right now.
Arknights EN has shown up to offer their congratulations to you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Arknights EN. Thank you.
First of all, thank you very much for being part of this Best of Arknights 2024 video. Let's start with introduction.
I'm LD Undusk. It's hard to introduce myself, I guess. I'm a Sarkaz Knights player normally, and I also have a pretty extensive history, like working with tournament organization and other esports stuff. But aside from that, I'm just a niche Knights player and subpar content creator most of the time.
Okay, interesting. So basically you're also saying you have a channel.
Yeah, I mostly stream on Twitch, and I've been meaning to, albeit keep getting sidetracked in maintaining my YouTube because
Alright,
I've
guys,
been running.
You know what to do. Go subscribe on LD Undusk. Okay.
It's all sarcasm, sorry.
What did you do before?
Yeah, so before Arknights, I actually have a pretty substantial history both with just sports and esports. So even before I was on the esports scene, I used to help run sport tournaments and sporting events in my city. Which is where I picked up a lot of the skills, and then I ended up getting really into League of Legends when it came out, and helped do some volunteer tournament organizations for League of Legends and played that competitively for a bit, and after that I got into Splatoon, Splatoon 2 around I would say the height of its competitive period. And that's where I really kind of took off, and I started working on making my own orgs and my own tournaments. So one of the biggest projects that I helped overlook in Splatoon was creating this union of tournament organizers basically for basically running events and basically being able to streamline communication between multiple events, as well as have one concentrated kind of hub for hey, you need someone who can broadcast, you need someone who can cast, you can ping them in this server and get a response, just kind of a just a way for people to be able to work together easier. That was something that I helped spearhead. And then once I stopped with Splatoon, I accidentally found my way into Arknights.
Guys, imagine all of this but in Arknights. Yeah, this is basically what you did. Right?
Honestly, a fraction of the stuff that
we are just seeing a fraction of your power. Basically.
Yeah.
Okay, so
if I had more power, I could do so much.
So yeah, leading to the last question, so how do you even find the energy to do all of these management work? So I can kind of expect now that you explained from where you actually came from, that it sort of is like your professional in a way, right?
I am not. I don't get paid to do anything that I've done ever. Anything. Actually, I've gotten paid everything that I mentioned before, from both helping with like community sporting events to League of Legends to Splatoon. I don't think I've gotten paid for any of my tournament organization work. I work strictly as like a volunteer. But like honestly, like the energy just comes from like the players and like being able to see the community that it kind of creates and brings people together. Like that alone is enough for me to want to keep working. Like as long as people keep showing up and as long as people like, you know, keep wanting these events to be run and are like, you know, respectful like to like my team and my time, I'll keep doing this like until I die. It's so much fun for me.
We are just passion-driven slaves. I mean, in a sense, I'm... Bagpipe English VA was the best thing that happened to Arknights Global. She convinced me that 1 kilogram steel is actually heavier than 1 kilogram feather, mostly because of her accent. No thanks, my brain is fine. If you don't believe me, you can have a look at my anatomy, or just the anatomy of any doctor really. After 2 years of profound silence, Jing Zhang, one of the veteran fan animator, came out and dropped this insane bomb of an almost 12-minute long fan animation, visualizing the dark and grim scenario that is the IS3 ending. I gotta tell you, this was a 10 out of 10. Peak storytelling, peak animation, peak lore exploration, and absolutely peak depression. Around the same time, Hypergriff also released the 4th Arknight PV, but no one anticipated that they hit an entire ARG within the trailer. Renegade made an extensive video covering the first phase of the ARG. Link is in the description. Hey, now this sounds like the return of a true king. Okay, this is my most anticipated event of the year, ZWILLINGSTÜRME im Herbst, aka German 9/11. I turned my entire Discord server German, and as always, we hosted uniquely themed tournaments and art contests with generous prizes. We got our favorite criminal wife on board, because once again, Rhodes Island doesn't do background checks. Even if we did, I'd still approve her. Because who wouldn't want a criminal wanted by the holiest nation? The person who has the longest list of committed crimes brought the "you should yourself now" meme to the fandom and played music not for fun, but for the real salvation. Our one and only Arturia the Virtuosa, also known as our Dark. Shout out to If Evil Why Hot, gonna be one of my favorite genders. Let me tell you, I can fix her once she let my heart speak up. And how could I have forgotten to mention about our beloved Viviana, the Candle Knight, our champion, the German Moose, and our pet. It is a nice coincidence that Nerd's theme is called Radiant, while Viviana's theme is called Illuminate. Ich liebe Viviana. All these nice aspects aside, I was aware that everyone was sitting on her, because she didn't really meet expectations. But you know what? Fuck expectations. Fuck good operators. All my homies max out the worst operators imaginable, so we can trigger people online. Keep in mind, being a good operator is transient, but being a bad operator is eternal, and we gotta embrace that. Arknights Official hosted the Empress's Voice Cup, a content creation tournament, and oh man did our community deliver. We have gotten some of the most creative and unique content from the tournament. This was such a big influx of fresh content. We got fan songs, unique stage clears, ZWILLINGSTÜRME graphic design uncovered, a lot more fan animations, and Bevan actually built Virtuosa's cello with a 3D printer. We ate so well, and I haven't even talked about the in-game content, the new mechanic, tuning, and the funny orb, followed by the funny teleport. With it, you can commit unspeakable violence on a single tile. Again, there is simply so much going on. German VA, I used to dream about it, but now it is reality. Ausgezeichnet, Leute. With the new quality of life update, I'm sure as hell that the old one will never haunt us again. Longman Dragons, Team Keo, A-Gear Organizing Committee, Project Fuji, and Babel Progressors collaborated under a single banner to host the first Arknights World Cup. the Skywalking League. For the first time ever in Arknights' entire history, the best players from all servers came together to compete against one another. They really made history with this one, and you know what else was worth celebrating? The fact that Global finally got the KFC skins. It is just KFC without the KFC logo. We received it through the web event and Yoaster shop. Well, I've always had a consumer-driven mindset when it comes to merch. They probably did the logo tomfoolery for legal reasons, so they could give us global players these skins in the first place. Honestly, I can't complain about it, because it is still KFC skin in our heart. While we were enjoying our Ifrit skin, no one realized that she had actually burned the whole place to the ground. But we didn't care. Even if she burned us down, we are used to marching on scorched ground. Damn it, the voices in my head are reminding me of the good old days. CC Battleplan Pyrolysis rose up from the ashes like a phoenix. We are so done, guys. Everyone aim to clear Risk 620 as quickly as possible. Because we checked the medals on June 8th. Those who did were given psychological counseling for free. It was quite a dreadful combination. No, I'm not talking about the stark contrast of fire and ice related content on the menu at the same time. I'm talking about the risks that created the digital version of Purgatory.
Hello there, Arknights' most hated YouTuber here, once again on other people's channels like a cancerous tumor. I am here to talk about the Lake Silver Sneeze, however you say that. As you all know, in this event, a very awaited and beloved NPC finally got out of NPC jail and managed to crawl their way to the playable characters table. This unit was so anticipated that Hypergriff took great care in making sure their kit accurately represents what they're all about. Of course, I'm talking about Leto. Leto is meant to synergize with the other Ursus student Usis. I hope you maxed out your Gummy. However, like a streamer trying not to message minors, she's not very good at it. First of all, her buff is only active when her skills are active. On skill 2, that's a 47% uptime. Second, her main thing is activating all their skills at once if they can be activated, which is at best kinda nice and at worst actively annoying. This can't be used with Gummy, by the way. It should be considered a criminal offense to make a unit to synergize with the Ursus students and then she doesn't with Gummy. To take advantage of Leto, you'd need to run Gummy on skill 2, which is so tragically bad I still haven't forgiven Lowlight for it. It also can't be used with Rosa skill 3, since it has a fixed attack interval which cannot be altered. In other words, Leto's buff doesn't work with 2 of the best skills in the faction. But Leto is more than that. She has easily the best DPS amongst the 5-star and 4-star guards. Not that she had much competition, but still. Her damage is actually very respectable, and she's a surprisingly good pick in IS4. Mind you, not IS3, because that mode is irredeemable trash and nothing good is allowed in it. With that said, I was SUPAH signing out. Max out your Gummy. Bye.
And that was all of Arknights 2024. We got more Sheep Nados, more Misty Beans, more tournaments, more KFC skins that aren't KFC skins, more Autism, more Crusher having a crush, more business with tax evasion, more playable war criminal, more lore accurate Scottish accent, more NPCs out of NPC jail, and all in all, more Arknights content that we can enjoy as a community.
We're standing on a tightrope, balancing in sync, snacking while we study, sipping on a drink. Everything is jumbled in my mind. Oh, oh.
So, you have finally reached the end of this video. Thank you very much. It means a lot to me, as well as for everyone who has participated in this video project. Also a big shout out to my channel members: Congo Prime, Frid, Provent Anims, Maguro, Jason Visanto, Akirian, and Nona. Thank you so much guys, you are the best.